Talking college sports in the Deep South where college football is king. We want to think that the SEC conference is arguably one of the better conferences in all of college football. I think 64 draft picks from 2019, countless national championships, also a handful of Heisman Trophy winners probably speaks for itself. Also, we want to think the SEC West, man. I love watching the physicality. You know what I'm saying, in the SEC West, the defensive lines, the linebackers. Great defense in the SEC West. If you're trying to move the ball in the SEC West, you better come with it because it goes down in the South. Also, we want to give a shout out to East Alabama, where the loveliest village on the plains rests for Auburn University. They call it the loveliest village on the plains, where the battle cry is War Eagle. Once again, it's Casey to go for Vernon Speaks Sports. We're talking Auburn football like you have never seen in your life. War Eagle. Okay, so we're talking post-spring stuff. Okay, I caught wind of the whole power ranking situation, and that's great for the SEC. We power ranking kind of keep the fans engaged, and of course the power ranking was pretty predictable as to where all the teams sat. But now we fast forward and kind of shift gears over to Auburn, to where it appears that the highly publicized quarterback battle is starting to narrow down. Of course, a couple of weeks ago, ESPN mentioned the quarterback battle at Auburn as one of the top in the country, and if you think about it, it should have been. You have one of the top quarterbacks out of the recruiting class in Bo Nix. You have Joey Gatewood, who was highly touted during his recruitment. Cord Sandberg, if he would have come out and played football outright, he was actually recruited by Auburn, committed to Mississippi State, highly recruited as well. A lefty though, change of pace. Also, you're talking Malik Willis, who's an incredible athlete, and probably the more synonymous to past quarterback Nick Marshall. So as it turns out, when we look at this thing from a perspective going into summer camp and into fall, it's actually a good thing that Auburn is starting to narrow down the quarterback situation. Okay, so as it comes out, Joey Gatewood and Bo Nix will be literally going head to head as to who will lead the Tigers going into the Advocare Classic. Now, although I would love to still have Malik Willis in the mix, I'm actually glad versus, traditionally, Auburn carries this thing throughout the summer on into fall camp, and you don't know who the quarterback is until kickoff. This is something that Gus Malzahn has to improve on. He has to improve on knowing where he stands going into summer practice, because it's going to be very important to have this in place. Now, I may be wrong. I'm gonna tell you, I could be real wrong, but something tells me that Alan Green, the athletic director for the Auburn Tigers, is helping Gus out with decision making with this, because his decision making is very different from what it was in the past. Now, I'll go out on a limb and say they meet once a week, and I assume they still meet once a week. And Alan Green is probably saying, hey, look, I understand you have a 4-rotation quarterback battle going, but you need to narrow this thing down, okay? And that's why Gus is like, hey, we've narrowed this thing down between me, Kenny Dillingham, Cody Burns, whoever else is involved, Carnell Williams. We've narrowed this thing down to 2 guys that we feel can help lead this football team. I think it's a great decision. I don't agree with this decision because I like Malik Willis. But at the same time, you want to get some solidarity going into fall practice so you can move forward with planning for the Advocare Classic. Now, when we talk about the 2 quarterbacks involved, in my honest opinion, I think it's Joey Gatewood's job to lose. First of all, he's the most physical. He's the most experienced. He's been in the system for a little bit. I think he can take on the the rigors of the SEC as far as a durability standpoint. War Eagle. But Bo Nix, I liked him though because he can make all the throws on the field. He has great decision making for a true freshman quarterback. I mean, this dude got off the school bus and was ready to take on the reins at Auburn University. So Auburn is in a very good position as far as the quarterback position goes. I think if it were me to choose the starter, I'm big on Joey Gatewood. You know what I'm saying? I of course from the spring game he didn't do particularly well on the deep throw. That's something he can work on. And plus, you got to remember though, when you're doing the run pass option and teams, in the spring game, there's no contact with the quarterback. So he really couldn't deviate or couldn't scheme to where the deep pass will be available. Okay, so we got to watch out for that. But either way, I really like what Gus Malzahn and his staff is doing, and it shows the maturity of Gus Malzahn going into the 2019 season in that he can narrow a very difficult, decision down. So that's where we're at. You know what I'm saying? I think Auburn is in a very good position. Very talented, problem to have at the quarterback position. If it were me, I think Joey Gatewood starts, but Bo Nix really is hungry, man. He is the future of Auburn football at the quarterback position. Once again, it's Casey to go for Vernon Speak Sports. Go ahead and like this video or unlike it. I mean, I know people ain't going to always like it. Also, subscribe to the channel. Very important you subscribe to the channel. War Eagle.